Yes, hi everybody, and welcome to yet another video, and welcome to yet another review video, my dear friends. And it is time for yet another venture into my Warhammer 40k journey, my dear friends. As if you hadn't noticed, if you've been following me for at least 3 months, I just recently got into Warhammer 40k. After years of being a fantasy and science fiction aficionado, I realized, well, let us check out what that Warhammer 40k is about. And what I discovered was probably the greatest story building, or world building, I'm sorry, probably the greatest world building I have discovered since discovering Tolkien. I am totally invested 100%. And over the course of 3 months, I've been able to get through the Eisenhorn omnibus and the Horus Heresy initial trilogy. Now I'm reading the Dark Angels omnibus, and I've just finished The Flight of the Eisenstein, or as I like to call it, The Flights of the Eisenstein. I've got German ancestry. Come on, it's Eisenstein. It's not Eisenstein. Why am I showing you this on this very old tablet? Because it's one of my gripes with the Black Library. Fortunately, I've been able to get a lot of Horus Heresy books in the physical form, like the initial trilogy that I've read and reviewed. I shall post a link in the description down below to this glorious trilogy. But it is a sad fact that the Black Library and Games Workshop, they don't keep many of their older books in print. Or they don't reprint them, which is something that I'm struggling with because I prefer physical editions, physical copies, but I am excited by the story so much. I just needed to buy it digitally and read it like this. It is all right. You can at least read it in the dark. So that's the positive. Nevertheless, um, I've said on multiple occasions already on this channel that it should really be the opening quadrilogy, because I think that this book, The Flight of the Eisenstein by James Swallow, The Heresy Unfolds, is really a glorious continuation, and not only continuation, a companion to the Horus Rising and False Gods and Galaxy in Flames, where we of course follow the character of Garviel Loken and Horus himself, and the path to heresy, all culminating at Istvan III and what happened there, which was one of the greatest scenes of like complete destruction and annihilation that I have ever read in literature. Now, and by the way, there are going to be some spoilers, so if you haven't read these four books and if you are interested in reading them and don't want things to be spoiled, just leave, read them, and come back. It shouldn't take you much time. These books are really an awesome read. You can just storm through them. They are keeping you at the edge of the seat all the time. And I've mentioned it when I was making the Horus Heresy original opening trilogy review, that I admire the ability of the writers, which were Dan Abnett, Graham McNeil. I'm sorry, I'm blanking. Counter, and now James Swallow, to be able to write a book each, books that are really a quadrilogy, but keep the style same, keep the quality same, keep the pacing same, really as if it was written by one author and not four. So we leave Garvey Logan, we know in what state. We trace the character development of Horus and his fall from grace, and his, the beginnings of the heresy, what he did at Istvan, and how he turned against the emperor, and how he seduced, quote unquote, many of his fellow primarchs and Astartes to his side, against the god emperor of mankind. And then we, of course, leave the story with something that many people, I imagine, when they read The Galaxy in Flames, they wanted to know more about. and I already had known because those books have been around for quite some time, so I knew what the flight of the Eisenstein was about to be. The Captain Nathaniel Garrow, when Saul Tarvitz took the Thunderhawk by the end of Galaxy in Flames, and when he warned him that the War Master was going to just annihilate the entire planet, and that the warning had to be sent out that he is the traitor, he is a heretic, and that a warning needs to go out. And also we leave Keela and her fellow companions, where they were being saved by Captain Yak, or by was it Captain? No, it wasn't Captain. Well, Yacton Cruz, the friend of Garvia Logan, and so he saved them. They left the War Master's ship, so on and so forth. And so we leave them like this, and they were saved by Nathaniel Garrow, the commander of the Eisenstein, or the captain of the Eisenstein. Really, the commander in because the captain was somebody else, like from the Imperial Army, but you know what I mean. So the fact remains that we leave them there. The three human characters, they boarded the Eisenstein, sort of kind of the end of the Galaxy in Flames book. Now, not only does this like follow those events from about the middle of the book, but they also precede those events. These events in this book, they precede the events of the events in Galaxy in Flames, and then they kind of retell them, but from a different point of view, from the point of view of the eyes of Nathaniel Garrow, a member of the Death Guard Legion. There's not chapter yet in this era in 30k. The Astartes are parts of legions, not chapters, and so we get to the point where Tarvitz took the Thunderhawk, and he, his transmission, is being detected by Eisenstein. They see the Thunderhawk being chased by like the starfighters of the War Master, and then we read the exchange between those two battle brothers, so on and so forth. And then we go on with another character, through a different set of eyes. So it's, man, let me tell you, I have enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed the first three. And it was only refreshing to see the story, or to read the story of the Horus Heresy being described from the point of view of a different protagonist. We get to know more and more and more about the warp and what it does, and that's something extraordinary. Now, what I love about these books, and I've been fortunate so far, now both the 30k and the 40k, and I'm just, now that I've finished the flight of the Eisenstein, and I will call it Eisenstein, now that I've finished that, I can just fully focus on this, because I've been reading two books at the same time. So this is 40k. This is the fall of the the Legends of the Dark Angels. Fantastic. I mentioned it in my yesterday's video, and I am amazed by the ability of those writers, and how well they can tell a story, how well they can describe things, and it is an exciting time in my life to discovering something for the first time. Now, like over the years, I've told you in many of my videos, I have been editing Tolkien as encyclopedias. I've been writing theses and, and articles on Tolkien. I've been involved in the publishing of different fantasy things in the Czech Republic. So I'm very well versed in some things. And so you kind of take it for granted that you know something about the subject matter, and so when you start discovering something for the first time again, and it's so good, it's as good as the war, I mean the Horus Heresy and Warhammer 40k, it's such a good feeling. You feel alive. You feel really vital, and that is, I think, what entertainment should be about. So in the day and age of people on the internet just complaining about things and how everything's bad, which isn't true really, it's so good to have something positive to enjoy, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading more. I know that not all Horus Heresy books are good. I know that they are of various different qualities. People have been recommending me things. They've been sending me like reading lists of the essentials, what I have to read in order to get to the Siege of Terra and understand it fully. I will definitely read the next one. I have it in a physical copy, Fulgrim, again by Graham McNeil. Graham McNeil, that guy is a tremendously awesome author. I have no doubts I will love Fulgrim. I know this takes place like before, but that doesn't matter. It's a Warhammer 30k books written by Graham McNeil. Looking forward to that very much indeed. And now what remains is, my dear friends, for you to tell me in the comments down below what you think. Do you like Warhammer 40k? Do you like Warhammer 30k? Have you read the entirety of Horus Heresy or not? Tell me all about it. And that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, the Emperor protects.